What's going on, everyone? Austin John Plays here, and today I'm going to be going over how to cook every single recipe in Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. There's a total of 58 different dishes that you can make in this entire game, and I'm going to be going over how to fill up your entire recipe catalog very easily. In order for you to get all of the ingredients required, you do have to play through the game all the way until you get the star from Poshly's Sanctum. Before that point in time, you can't get a few different ingredients, mainly fresh pasta from Poshly Heights, and the hot sauce you're then able to buy after you complete a trouble. Throughout the last 20 years of this game existing, there's been helpful info charts, there have been documentations, there's a wiki. However, no one's ever just made a simple guide, a simple step-by-step to make sure that you have every single recipe cooked in the entire game. That's what we are doing here today. I broken it down into 8 steps to make sure that you have all the ingredients that you need with little to no backtracking and making sure that you're going to be making a profit your entire time going through this. Until the very last step. We're going to talk about that once we get there. But yeah, let's get on with it. Since there are so many different things to cook, I came up with the easiest way that you can achieve this entire list, and I'm going to be designing each phase that way it fits in an inventory of 15 so you don't have to have the upgraded strange sack for you to have double inventory space. There are 2 different recipes that you can get from doing side quests, that being the meteor meal and the couple's cake. I will not be cooking these in this tutorial. For the meteor meal, if you want that, you get a shooting star and a shroom fry. Each cooking phase is going to require several different items, and I'm going to have it on screen for you, but as I put these totals on screen, make sure you go and look at your shop, at your storing area, to see if you can withdraw any of the amount of items that I've already told you about. It's going to save you time and money. For the first step of this, we're going to go ahead and do all of the Turtley leaf recipes, which requires us to get all of the different ingredients that you see on your screen here, including 5 Turtley leaves, 2 horsetails, 3 keel mangoes, 3 slow shrooms, and 4 fresh pasta. On your recipes page, if you've already cooked the Koopa tea, then you only need 4 Turtley leaves. If you cook the mushroom roast, you're only going to need 2 slow shrooms. Turtley leaves are forageable that you can get in Petalburg. If you go to the mayor's house and you hit his 3 different bushes outside, one of them is bound to drop the Turtley leaf. In order to get the item to respawn, you have to D-zone out of here into a different map. Now, if you just go to the right, that's going to bring you to the path to the Schwank Fortress, and then you zone back to Petalburg, the game will have considered you to have completely left the area and come back. Just go over to his bushes, knock all 3 until you find yourself the Turtley leaf. To get yourself horsetails, you're going to make your way left to Petal Meadows, and then on the next screen, this shorter candy pop over here, if you hit him, he's going to wobble. You want to hit him a few times until he goes ahead and drops the horsetail. To get a second one, just go right back to Petalburg and then come back, hit him again for your second horsetail. While we are here, go ahead and get yourself 1 courage shell from the shop. Take that courage shell, put it in the shop. We are going to need it much later. For the 3 keel mangoes that we need, we're going to go and make our way to Key Hall Key. And you're going to come over here and hit this first tree that you see in order to get yourself a keel mango. If you need more, just head left to the camp, and then you can come back, hit the tree again for more. Slow shrooms are readily sold at the Deep Down Depot, which is underneath Rogueport in the sewers. They're going to be 15 coins each. Let's go ahead and buy 2 of them, and a third one if you didn't already cook a slow shroom by itself for a shroom roast recipe. For fresh pasta, we're going to be going over to Poshly Heights in Warp Pipe 6, and over here at the souvenir stall is where you're going to be able to buy the fresh pasta. They cost 50 coins each. You need a total of 4 of them. If you haven't already cooked 1 Turtley leaf to make a Koopa tea, that's going to be your first cook. If you have not already cooked 1 slow mushroom in order to make yourself a mushroom roast, go ahead and cook that. And take one of your 4 fresh pastas and we're going to cook that into spaghetti. Now we're going to be cooking with 2 items. We're going to be combining Turtley leaves along with the spaghetti, not fresh pasta, the spaghetti that you already cooked from a fresh pasta. We're going to cook those 2 ingredients, and that's going to be a Koop pasta. Next, you're going to want to cook 1 Turtley leaf and 1 keel mango together. And that's going to be a Koopa bun. Next, we're going to cook 1 Turtley leaf and 1 slow mushroom. And that's going to be a mushroom broth. Next, we're going to cook your last Turtley leaf along with a horsetail. And that's going to be a healthy salad. Feel free to sell the Koop pasta, Koopa bun, and mushroom broth that you already cooked, or, save it for later. The healthy salad, do not sell the healthy salad that you took with 1 Turtley leaf and 1 horsetail. Do not sell that. Phase 2 is going to require 2 mushrooms and 1 horsetail. If you already have the mushroom fry recipe cooked, then you only need 1 mushroom and 1 horsetail. If you didn't already cook the mushroom fry, go ahead and cook 1 mushroom for a mushroom fry, and then go ahead and cook 1 mushroom and 1 horsetail together to make a Zess Dinner. Zess Dinner that you just cooked up, go ahead and store that in the item shop. We are going to be needing that later. For phase 3 of cooking, you're going to need a total of 3 fresh pastas, which should be in your inventory, 4 hot sauces, 2 tasty tonics, 1 point swap, and 1 slow mushroom, which should be in your inventory. We're also going to be needing 2 dried mushrooms and 1 life mushroom. Point swap, if you don't already have one, you can buy one in Glitzville at the souvenir shop. And while we're right here, we're going to be speaking to Businessman outside because he's going to be able to sell us hot sauce. We need a total of 4 hot sauce. Also want to go over here to the hot dog stand and buy 1 hot dog. Next, we're going to go ahead and buy 2 tasty tonics for 3 coins each. On the west side of Rogueport, we're going to be buying 1 life mushroom for 50 coins. And we're going to be buying 2 dried mushrooms at 2 coins each. And then just like the businessman wanted, we are going to combine the hot sauce and the hot dog, which was just what he always wanted to do. That's what, you know, he was sent there to proposition, the hot sauce and the hot dog together. And that's going to make the brand new recipe for the remake, which is the hottest dog. We're going to go ahead and cook 1 fresh pasta with 1 hot sauce, and that's going to be a spicy pasta, probably the best meal possible. Next, we're going to cook 1 hot sauce with 1 tasty tonic, and that's going to go ahead and get us an inky sauce. Next, we're going to cook the exact same thing again of 1 hot sauce and 1 tasty tonic for a second inky sauce. Next, we're going to go ahead and cook the point swap and the slow mushroom, and that's going to get us a poison mushroom. Next, we're going to take one of the inky sauces that we just made and cook it with 1 fresh pasta, and that gets us an ink pasta. Next, we're going to cook 1 life mushroom and 1 dried mushroom, and that's going to get us a mushroom steak. We are going to cook 1 dried mushroom with our last fresh pasta. That's going to get us a Zess special. We have 1 last cook, which involves the healthy salad that you probably cooked during phase 1 of this, and then the mushroom steak. And these 2 bad boys together are going to combine for you the Zess Deluxe. Now on the screen, feel free to go ahead and sell or store your Zess Special, your Zess Deluxe, your Spicy Pasta, and your Ink Pasta. Do not sell the Inky Sauce or the Poison Mushroom. Phase 4 requires us to have 3 Mystic Eggs. However, if you did not already cook 1 single fried egg, then you're going to need a total of 4 Mystic Eggs. We're also going to need 2 Keel Mangoes, which you should still have in your inventory, 1 Cake Mix, 1 Honey Syrup, 2 Fire Flower, and a Mushroom. Next door to Zest Tea, we could go ahead and buy that mushroom, the 2 Fire Flowers, and the 1 Honey Syrup. For the 3 or 4 Mystic Eggs that you're going to need, we're going to go ahead and make our way to the Great Tree in World 2. To get the Mystic Eggs, we come in here, speak to Patui, and then we're going to be making her a simple question like, Mario likes which person the most? And she's gonna be like, easy, I know the answer. Yay, good job, me. Here's a Mystic Egg. In order to get more eggs and play the game again, you have to zone yourself back into the Rogueport sewers. You cannot go to the Boggly Woods, so you have to go all the way around the tree into the warp pipe with the number 2 on it. Then you can go ahead and warp yourself back. Then she'll be eligible for another game. Do this until you have the 3 or the 4 if you didn't already make a Friday. As for the cake mix, you're gonna get that in the Pianta parlor in exchange for Piantas. If you speak to the Boo Boo Kitty back here, go to trade in your winnings. You can get the cake mixes for 6 Piantas each, effectively making them 18 coins each. Or, you know, like a minute of playing the mini games. We're only gonna need 1 cake mix for now, but we are definitely coming back for more. First of all, go ahead and cook your 1 item, being the Mystic Egg, if you did not already get yourself a fried egg. Next from here, we're gonna cook 1 Keel Mango and 1 cake mix, and that's gonna get us a Mango Delight. Next, we're gonna cook 1 Keel Mango and 1 Honey Syrup, and that's gonna be a Fruit Parfait. Next, we're gonna be cooking 1 Mystic Egg and 1 Fire Flower. She's gonna be very surprised by what's cooked, and that's gonna be an Egg Bomb. Next, we're gonna cook 1 Mystic Egg and 1 Mushroom, and that's gonna be an Omelet Meal. Next, we're gonna cook the Mystic Egg and the Mango Delight dessert that we just made. And that's gonna be a Love Pudding. Now you can feel free to either save or sell yourself an omelet meal and the Love Pudding. The Fruit Parfait in your inventory, we're also gonna go ahead and sell that. So if you've been following along, you now have Inky Sauce, Poison Mushroom, Egg Bomb, and Fire Flower. Okay, for part 5 of this, we are going to need 1 golden leaf or 2 golden leaves if you do not already have the recipe for Zess Tea. That's 2 separate words, and tea is spelled like, you know, drinking tea. 2 Peachy Peach, 3 Ice Storm, a Ruin Powder, and 2 cake mixes. And also 1 maple syrup while we're at it. And we're also gonna go ahead and get ourselves space food, because I actually just read up that you can just get one. Cool. So let's go ahead and make our way to Twilight Town. Here in Twilight Town, if you go and you stay at the inn, when you wake up, you are going to be getting yourself a Peachy Peach. So the Peachy Peach effectively costs 10 coins. To get yourself a golden leaf, you need to take the warp pipe into Creepy Steeple, make your way to the north room. You're going to find the slit inside of the gate, go to the right, hit that tree, and that's how you're going to get yourself a golden leaf. If you need a second one, you have to zone all the way out of here and all the way back. So hopefully you have some in your shop inventory. Here at Far Outpost is going to be the item shop, and it's going to be selling you ice storms. Make sure that you have 2 of them, and also this is the only one that's going to sell ruin powder. Make sure you have 1 of them. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a maple syrup. They cost 20 coins here, and they're only cheaper on the Excess Express, but you know, time is money, and I'm not about that life. Let's head inside of the inn, and if you go ahead and speak with the Bob-omb over here, the inn stay is 15 coins. When you go ahead and wake up, this thing that looks like a stick of butter over here is actually going to be space food. And that's going to go ahead and mark that recipe off for you. Alternatively, if you get a hot sauce, you can then bring the hot sauce to Petalburg and exchange it for the bouquet with the bulb at the left screen right in front of the camera in the center of the room. And then he gives you a dry bouquet, and you can combine that with any healing item like a dried mushroom, and then you get a space food that way. I think just coming here in the 15 coins is much faster and easier. Use this voiceover when I'm talking about the ingredients. Here at the Pianta Parlor, we're going to need these 2 cake mixes, which is 12 Piantas, or the equivalent of 36 coins. Now we're going to need 1 golden leaf or 2 golden leaves if you did not already cook the Zess tea, Z-E-S-S space T-E-A. Firstly, if you did not cook yourself a Zess tea, we're going to cook 1 golden leaf for that. Next, we're going to need to cook ourselves 1 fire flower that you still should have in your inventory, and that's going to be a spicy soup. Next, we're going to cook an ice storm with a golden leaf, and that's going to make a snow bunny for us. Next, we're going to cook that snow bunny in the spicy soup that we just got. Now, you would think that would just kind of, you know, melt the snow bunny. And that's going to be a couple's cake. We now need to cook the couple's cake with a poison mushroom. And that's the trial stew. Amazing food made by Zess Tea. Yields incredible results. Hopefully you understand my sarcasm in that. Next, we're going to be cooking 1 ruin powder and 1 Peachy Peach. And that's going to be a heartful cake. Next, we're going to cook 1 cake mix and 1 Peachy Peach. And that's going to be a peach tart. Next is going to be the inky sauce that's been sitting on our inventory for a while, and 1 cake mix. And that's going to be choco cake, or chocolate cake. And next is going to be the ice storm and the maple syrup. And that's going to be the Zess Frappe. Now you can go ahead and sell everything in your inventory except for the egg bomb. And you may want to hang on to the trial stew for something much later, but that's only if you have like a whole bunch of extra storage room. Otherwise, don't worry about that. Okay, so for this phase, we are going to do a bunch of cake stuff. You are going to need 2 coconuts, your egg bomb that you still have in your inventory, 1 fire flower, 2 honey syrups, or 1 additional honey syrup if you did not make yourself a fresh juice already, 1 ice storm that we have left over from last round, 1 mushroom, 1 volt mushroom, and 5 cake mixes, or a 6th cake mix if you didn't already make yourself 1 mousse. But you probably did that already. The coconuts, you could get a keyhole key if you head down this pathway here to the left, go through this warp pipe, and now you're in the backdrop. Just go ahead and whack this tree for your 2 coconuts. Here at the shop in town is where you can get yourself a fire flower, the mushroom you might need to pick up, the 1 or 2 honey syrups you may need. Next to the Pianta Parlor is where you could get yourself a volt mushroom. I'll trade in my winnings, and let's go ahead and get ourselves the 5 cake mixes that we need. Firstly, if you did not make yourself a fresh juice, go ahead and cook yourself 1 honey syrup. If you did not make yourself 1 mousse, go ahead and cook yourself 1 cake mix. Next, we're going to cook 1 coconut with 1 fire flower. And then we get Zess Tea's weapon text for a coconut bomb. Then we're going to go ahead and cook the coconut bomb with the egg bomb, which I'm pretty sure is just the equivalent of nitroglycerin at this point, because it's literally Zess Dynamite. Next, we're going to cook your coconut with 1 cake mix, and that's going to be a cocoa candy. Next, we're going to cook 1 cake mix with 1 volt mushroom, and that's going to be an electro pop. Next, we're going to cook 1 cake mix and 1 honey syrup, and that's going to be 1 honey candy. Next is going to be 1 mushroom and 1 cake. That is going to make, I'm sure to no one's surprise, a mushroom cake. Next, we're going to be cooking 1 honey syrup and 1 ice storm, and that's going to be an icicle pop. Next, we're going to go ahead and buy 1 more fire flower because it wasn't going to fit into your inventory otherwise. And we're going to cook a cake mix and that fire flower we just bought. And that's gonna get us a fire pop. All of the dishes that you just cooked, the mushroom cake, icicle pop, cocoa candy, honey candy, electro pop, fire pop, and Zess Dynamite, feel free to either use them or sell them. Remember that Zess Dinner that we stored in the item shop? Let's go ahead and take that out along with this courage shell that we got from, way back in Petalburg. Then we're gonna go ahead and combine that Zess Dinner with a courage shell. And that's gonna get you a courage meal. This now brings us to the most expensive part of this entire process, which involves you getting your hands on ultra mushrooms and jammin' jellies. You are going to need a total of 4 ultra mushrooms and 4 jammin' jellies, the most expensive items in the game. So if you happen to store a whole bunch of them throughout your entire time playing, I have found 3 ultra mushrooms and 2 jammin' jellies. That's gonna save you a butt ton of money toward this next step. Now there are 2 places that you can reliably get ultra mushrooms and jammin' jellies. One of them is from Charlieton here in the middle of town, and he has them at a discounted price of 120 coins. Underneath Rogueport, you can get them there at the Deep Down Depot, but they are 200 coins, but you can just get them all in one burst. Alternatively, if you don't want to exchange your money for the ultra mushroom and the jammin' jellies, you can exchange 80 piantas each, which honestly, when it comes to the tube game, you're looking at 40 piantas every 50 seconds. Let's call it a full minute. That means that the 640 piantas that you would need for this would take you about 16 minutes, and that is a lot faster than any coin grinding process. So go ahead and get yourself 4 ultra mushrooms and 4 jammin' jellies. After you go ahead and get yourself the 4 ultra mushrooms and the 4 jammin' jellies, we're gonna go ahead and cook those up. First, we're going to be doing the recipes that involve the 4 ultra mushrooms. So for this cooking phase, we are going to need to get ourselves 3 ultra mushrooms, 2 honey syrups, 4 maple syrups, and 3 cake mixes. For the 4 maple syrups that we need, you can either get them on the Excess Express for 15 coins each, or just go to Twilight Town and get them for 20 coins each, where yes, they cost more money, but you don't have to deal with being on the Excess Express. Again, the 3 cake mixes you could get at the Pianta Parlor for 6 piantas each. And of course, you could get honey syrups at the shop next door. First, we're gonna go ahead and cook 1 ultra mushroom with 1 cake mix. And that's gonna be a mushroom crepe. Next, we're gonna cook 1 ultra mushroom with 1 honey syrup. And that's gonna be a honey ultra. Next, we're gonna cook a maple syrup with an ultra mushroom. And that's gonna be a maple ultra. Next, we're gonna cook a maple syrup and a cake mix. And that's gonna be a Zess cookie. Now, since you absolutely, totally, 100% are not going to make your money back on anything that involves cooking an ultra shroom, I wouldn't recommend selling them. These are the items I'd recommend storing in your shop and saving these for Pit of 100 trials and your final boss fights and the final chapter of the game and your hidden bosses. These are some really nice items. Probably don't ever want to sell these, especially since in most rounds of cooking we come out either slightly or greatly ahead. However, not this one, as you are 319 coins in the hole, so hopefully you just used piantas for all of your ultra mushrooms. So go ahead and store those 4 things that we just cooked up. Okay, for this last cooking session, you are going to need to have 4 jammin' jellies, which you should have from when you got all of them, 3 super mushrooms, 2 maple syrups, which you should still have in your inventory, 2 regular mushrooms, 1 ultra mushroom that you should have left over, 1 cake mix, and 1 honey syrup, both of those still in your inventory. Go ahead and take out your 4 jammin' jellies and your 1 ultra mushroom that you had in storage. You're gonna need to go ahead and buy yourself 2 mushrooms, and the 3 super mushrooms you could get next to the Piazza Parlor for 20 coins each. First is gonna be a jammin' jelly and a cake mix, and that's gonna be a jelly candy. Next is a jammin' jelly and a mushroom, and that'll make, as you could probably imagine, ready for it? Not gonna believe this, a jelly mushroom. Next up is gonna be a honey syrup and a super mushroom, and that's a honey super. Next is gonna be a jammin' jelly and a super mushroom. That's gonna be for a jelly super. Most expensive thing in the entire game to make, 1 jammin' jelly and 1 ultra mushroom. This is like the peak of the peak. The number one thing that you want is like be the most OP, everything you could possibly need, max level sort of gameplay. And that's a jelly ultra, which restores 50 HP and FP. Next is gonna be a maple syrup and a mushroom, and that's gonna be for a maple mushroom. And lastly is a super mushroom and a maple syrup, and that's gonna cook you a maple super. And after going ahead and cooking all of that up, if you go into your settings and look at your recipes, you're gonna see that every single one of your recipes is complete, 58 of 58. For the completionist text to actually pop up, you have to zone out of Rogueport, and then you're gonna see it pop up in your mail. Congratulations, you learned all of Zess T's recipes. Her menu is now complete, so all your meals can be mighty tasty and mighty too. As proof of your efforts, we've sent you a special reward, the cooking trophy. Check your useful items to admire it yourself or show it off to friends. You've earned the right to brag. And over here, boom, it's the cooking trophy. Does Zess T have any fun text for us? Nope, not at all. Okay, well guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. There's guides on screen of all the shine sprites in the game as well as all the star pieces, so if you need those for your completionist, there you go. Till next time, Austin John out.